I think the discussion is robust and picking exactly the salient issues that we need to address. I would be adding my voice from the first question that you asked. I think it's Victor who asked it more directly on where are we and what is the progress 10 years on. But now this is the 13th year after the promulgation of Katiba 2010. And I actually appreciate the fact that our brother and Mheshimiwa Nabi actually showed it to us and keeps on reminding us, the constitution there, the provisions which are already there in terms of even, I think, Schedule 4 on where the functions, how they are demarcated and all that. By taking ECDE to the counties, that was a progressive move. And it is also part of the contribution that then the county governments were supposed to make in actualizing the Bill of Rights, particularly the Article 43 and 53, which I think Nabi has talked about, the 53 on the right of the child. And I also wanted to bring it from the aspect that prior to that, we were having a situation where even infrastructure, you'd find our children were under trees. Even with that, I think with Kibaki administration, there was a target that by 2010, we shall be ensuring that every public primary school has got an early childhood development and education center. That one was missed. The only thing that has now enabled us, at least to actualize part of that, is the devolution. So that is very, very important. So in terms of the infrastructure being developed, classrooms, they are calling them ECDE centers and all that, that is now actually being seen. The second thing which should have been dealt with more decisively, and actually Dr. Githinji here, coming from KU, how for quite some time, the graduates from KU who did early childhood training and all that were not even being absorbed. They were not being considered as teachers. It is that teacher development component. And indeed, we are also missing the aspect of the Teacher Service Commission, a constitutional commission that was created to help develop the teaching profession. In this case, I think this is where we should be roping them in and ensuring that, because these are teachers from early childhood development and education, teachers from primary, secondary, TVET and all that, they should be able to help us in developing that. I think that is a missing link that is there. In terms of the language of instructions, I think it has been dealt with much, but I also wanted to look at the tools in those centers, in the ECD. Because the teaching and learning equipments and all that, that requires to be provided. And in fact, I know there are some countries where model ECD centers have been developed, very motivational, where a child goes there and they don't even feel like going back home. Why? Because the playing materials, there are lots of things. I mean, if it is just jumping up and about, all those things are there. So a copy, I think there was a time when there was a school that started that in the, is it Kangemi area of Nairobi? I may forget the exact spot, but I know that attempt was made. So I'm saying that being creative and providing the right tools there is very important. That brings me to now the direct question you asked.
A quick one, yes.
The financing, Because all this we are talking about, without appropriate financing and harmonizing, finance will go in a very structured way. So you must first also harmonize the policy environment. You must also have standards, quality and standards, develop the frameworks for that, developed. But the financing component, to the extent that in as much as the Council of Governors are trying to bring into form something that could be a basic minimum for for all the counties, I think that has not been gotten completely right. They need to be helped a little bit more, and the national government need to come in to help develop that comprehensive national policy that would guide the ECD center. And the language of instructions, I think, if I'm just to restate that, let our parents understand one thing. Making your child to start talking in English and all that, and when you know that this is so foreign, so withdrawn from the child, it's making it difficult for this child to start.
And we actually hit them hard if they
it
don't
would
speak
be
in
important,
English.
yes. And let me tell you, at that early level, that a child speaking English does not necessarily demonstrate that is a very intelligent child, not necessarily. So let us also understand that allow this child to use that very familiar form of communication. And that comes from the mother. That's why in most cases it's called the mother tongue.
And most of the teachers...
Level, sorry, there's it's called ACALA. There's an association of African languages, which is actually promoting that. And why I'm saying so, because when...
Yes, this is a very quick...
Why I'm saying so is because the production of the books, production of materials for people to study, to look at and all that, those books, for me, for example, I looked for the books in the mother tongue, which I could expose my children to. It was very difficult to find. I think
so that is also
one
another
thing we need to...
concern. Gentlemen, we come back to you, George.